we're done with the obligatory stuff. Let's jump into some actual news that we have. We're going to start off with Netflix lays off 150 employees after massive subscriber loss. Now, Monty, you and I kind of talked about this backstage a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You thought there was another reason they were firing people. Can you explain that real quick?
Seth kind of knows about this too. Apparently, a lot of their employees, as we've heard before, with like recent, well, not so recent, but like, for instance, Chappelle and his stand-up stuff. Some of the more, I guess, progressive members of the Netflix staff do not like hearing things such as this. So Netflix basically said, well, hey, if you don't like our content, maybe seek some other employment. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense. If you're allergic to cookies, maybe you shouldn't work at a bakery.
Right. That's a fair assessment. Seth, I didn't know you knew about what Monty had just said. Can you give us a little bit more on that, or did he pretty much cover it?
I mean, he covered everything.
All right, cool. But that's not the reason why they fired everyone, right?
Well, they haven't fired anyone. I'm guess that was just more of like a, hey, look, we're not dealing with it, so fuck off.
Yeah. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Okay. So Netflix, I didn't know about that. I didn't hear about that. So thank you, Monty, for sharing. But this is a little different. Netflix has laid off 150 employees after massive subscriber loss. Now, I do have their quote here, and this comes from this is a quote from Netflix to Deadline, and let me get my reading voice, which sucks, by the way. I suck at reading. Our slowing revenue growth means that we are also having we're having to slow our cost growth as a company. So sadly, we are letting around 150 employees go today, mostly US based. These changes are primarily driven by business needs rather than individual performances, which makes them especially tough as none of us want to say goodbye to such great colleagues. We're working hard to support them through this very difficult transition. Okay. So I'm just going to say this. Let me pull this down. I call bullshit. I call 100% bullshit. I think this has another integral reason behind it. And I think they're using this soft, fluffy kitty version of a goodbye just to cover their tracks. I don't think this is true at all. And I'm going to be honest with you. I made this card last night and I did my research for it last night, but I didn't come up with that opinion until this time when I reread it. For some reason, this time when I reread it, it hit me differently. And I'm like, wait, that just sounds like a whole bunch of bullshit. Seth, what are your thoughts in reading Netflix reasoning for letting go 150 people? 150. Listen, when corporations go through massive losses, they don't lay off 10 people. They don't lay off 20 people. They don't lay off 200 people. They lay off thousands of people, right? Right?
Yeah.
To make up the cost, because we're talking billions of dollars, and they just save themselves yearly, maybe 500,000 if these are well-paid people. Maybe a little bit more than that. Let's say 3-4 million. I don't know the numbers behind it, but it's nowhere near to cover the cost of what they're going through, and that's why I think this is bullshit. Seth, what are your thoughts on what we just read?
I mean, I've seen companies lay off people before, but like you said, it's always a lot more. So, I mean, I don't want to come out and say that this is just a straight up lie, because I don't really see why it would be, like, why are they lying about firing 150 people? But I mean,
lying. It's not necessarily lying as much as just bending the truth a little bit. I'm not saying, and I don't know if they are. This is just what popped into my head.
So what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
It might be, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe you got into my head, Monty. Maybe
what I'm saying is, like, maybe it's a little bit of a mix. Like, maybe they're just more cleaning house because of their lowering revenue.
Yeah.
And not to mention, like, pretty much every time they ever release a trailer for a new show, like we haven't talked about it yet, but the Resident Evil series got a trailer.
Did it?
Oh, dude, they're getting roasted so bad because of it.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah, honestly, I think Netflix should just give all of their creative, just everything to their Korean subsection, because they just keep producing fucking banner after banner. You got Squid Games, and then The Kingdom, and then you got fucking the new one, All of Us Are Dead, where they actually take a weird high school drama and instead make a compelling zombie horror story.
yeah. I see. I don't know anything about that franchise. I haven't watched a lick of content from anything that they've produced with that franchise, so I don't really follow that too much. But I'm glad you have insight on that. Real quick, Jimbo did say they did it again. LOL. I was just talking about my layoff from them on one of the last episodes. Yeah, I remember that, Jimbo. My Netflix hate is justified. They always do weird shit behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Jimbo, thank you for chiming in. Yeah, Jimbo was a person who got fired from Netflix, or laid off or what have you. And Jimbo and I were also in a little short film. Was it just one short film, right? Yeah, we were in a short film. If you get a chance, YouTube The Reuben. You get to see a dead Jimbo on a card table.
I thought it was like the origin story of the sandwich.
No, it's more of like a Pulp Fiction-esque sort of thing, where the Reuben is just like this lame narrative that we're talking about, and but it has nothing to do with what's actually happening in the skit. So listen, Monty, I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah, I dig it.
But
it sounds like a political kind of when I say political, I mean, not left or right. I mean, like, whenever some politician goes on screen and politically correct taxes are about to go up, he says it. Oh, these are trying times, and that is why I am about to fuck you all over.
Yeah, man, a politically correct sort of statement, just to kind of like cushion the blow, and also make Netflix not look so evil.
Yeah.
Now listen, we're not saying this is true. We don't know this. But from what Monty was telling me of them telling their employees, oh, you don't like it, then go somewhere else. And then Netflix coming out and saying, we're going to let go 150 employees because of our multi-billion-dollar hit. This little drop in the bucket, this drop of water in the ocean is going to save our company. It's an unfortunate sacrifice we have to make. And then our friend Jimbo joining us saying that he got fired or let go from Netflix, and they always do weird shit behind the scenes. I'm calling bullshit on Netflix. Yeah, I listen. I apologize to the people that lost their jobs. Hopefully, they can collect some unemployment or what have you. But I just wish companies were more transparent. If there's one thing that I am goddamn sick and fucking tired of when it comes to Hollywood in general, it's the fact that it's full of corrupt people constantly lying and abusing other people. And it's like the Achilles heel of something that we all know and love, right? It's when you hear about all these things that go on behind the scenes, like, and I'm not even going to go down any of those rabbit holes. So it's for another show, but it's just, there's always something sinister. There's always a man behind the curtain, pulling the strings. And it's a really disturbing issue of something that we all love, because we love the content that movies bring us,
Yeah, unfortunately.
But Netflix lays off 150 employees after massive subscriber count. I'm sure it has nothing to do with how much did they spend on the Knives Out deal, Seth? Do you remember?
Like $450 million or something.
No, nothing. Not a big
that
deal.
Sounds like 150 employees' salary right there. To be honest with you,
that's all right. They're the writers of Black Summer.
Oh boy!
God, what a horrible series. Sorry.
I never saw it. So is that a Netflix original?
Yeah, so they say.
Netflix
it's based off The Walking Dead. Totally original.
Oh, okay, I got you. Just like
God.
Knives Out is going to be a Netflix original, even though it's a sequel that wasn't Netflix's to begin with.
Well, technically, the sequel is a Netflix original.
Right, but the franchise in general.